Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Gibson. I am the creator of Norm Therapy. I'm also the CEO of Norm Therapy, Inc. I hope everyone's well. We're going to resume our meetings today with Montez. We're absolutely thrilled that we're seeing progress between himself and Bobby. It's going very well. One of the things we have to remember as humans is that things change, and they oftentimes change daily. So it's not up to your day to decide who you are and how you operate. It's up to you. And this is what Bobby and Montez have been doing. They've been utilizing norm therapy techniques and sessions that we've been involved in order to have a better level of communication, but also understand what harmony actually looks like within a marriage. Even if one person is in disagreement with the other, harmony is still achievable and it can be perfected if we understand the voice of the other person. So, without any further ado, I'm going to ask Montez to come in. Come on in, Montez. Hey, sir, how are you today?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
One of the busiest days for me. It's been interesting. How about you? How's your job going?
Oh, my job going great. I'm still in training, but I'm meeting people and getting acquainted with the environment. Learning a whole lot. I'm happy.
Tell us about it. What did you learn new today? Just give me one thought. What did you learn new?
I learned how to be a motivational interviewer,
How
and
does that
the
work? How does that work?
well, you have to know about you have to know how to motivate, and it's a you got certain points like affirmation. You got to know how to help them know that they're still worth something, or there's still somebody in the midst of negativity. You always have to be encouraging. You have to know how to summarize and redirect the conversation when it's getting off of track. Because you got to remember that you are a case manager and you're trying to give them resources, and you have what you call a unit. A unit's only 15 minutes. They'd like you to do 2 units. So you're beneath time restraints. So you have to be effective and all of that, and in control and caring and motivational and encouraging, all in 30 minutes. You got to know how.
Sounds like you know what's involved. Have you been meeting your task in practice?
Well, in practice, what they've had me do is shadow other people. So other seasoned case managers, um, I get permission to go into their meeting or their appointment with them and see how they go about finding the resources, finding out what the people need first, making sure that they stay in compliance, making sure that they're meeting their groups, not only just for eye doctors or getting EBT benefits, but you got to meet your groups and just a
It's
whole plethora.
complicated. It's
Yeah.
complicated. See, tell me something. With this kind of autonomy, responsibility, and for the lack of a better term, authority. You have the authority, the responsibility, and the autonomy to get the job done. In other words, once they let you loose, you have to have the knowledge, or at least a practical application of the knowledge to assist each person. And each case to come in your door may be different, correct? Totally
Correct.
different than a prior case. And their needs may be different as well, but the same system, provided however they understand what system they're in, could accommodate those needs.
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
I feel good about it. These are the same people 20 years ago I probably would have sold some crack to or tried to rob them. I would have put them
And
in a
that
victim.
was very heartfelt, believe it or not. I felt that right in my chest because I know you meant that.
I
But
did.
but to say 20 years ago, this is what I would have done, and today I'm doing something different, that's a leap. That's not only a leap of faith, that's a leap of trust in yourself, don't you think?
Yeah, yeah. You got to have some trust in yourself when you're dealing with people who have substance abuse problems or mental health issues. You got to have some faith in yourself, or you're not going to tell them nothing right. And you're not going to get nothing right for them.
Does it make you happy to see them get well?
It does. It does. I've not been there enough time to see people totally transform, but I'm working aside a guy who was a client. We don't call them patients, we call them clients. I'm working beside a guy who was a client before he was a case manager at the same addiction center.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? And so
that's
that
a success
right
story. That's a success story.
Yeah.
Is he your job mentor for now, helping you try to get there?
He's one of 4, 5.
Okay.
Because we have a certain amount of caseworkers, and we have a certain amount of counselors, a certain amount of nurses, administrative people at this location.
So it's a team.
Yeah, so it's like 5 of us. We have the whole team meeting early in the morning, and then the case managers go in there and have a team meeting and learn how to document and interview and be resourceful.
You seem like you at home, bro. You seem like you at home.
Yeah, I took to it.
You got this. I'm familiar with institutions, but I'm on the other side of the desk this time.
Yeah, I got a desk.
Oh, forgive me for breathing. I will hold my breath.
Yeah.
You got a desk.
I got an office.
Steve, close the door. There you go. Montez, that's what success looks like and smells like and tastes like, and you can hear it and touch it. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, you heard me say this before, the easiest part of anything is getting it. Like the easiest thing to do in the world is make money. Keeping it is hard. The easiest thing in the world to do is get a job. Keeping it is hard.
Yes.
What measures are you going to take to keep your job?
I think first, the very first thing I have to do is want it. I gotta want that. I gotta want my job. I gotta want to be able to provide. I gotta want some money in my pocket. I gotta want that. But once I know that I want that, I think one, I have to listen. Your auditory skills have to be, off the chain. They have to. You have no choice.
Have to be alert and listen.
You have to be alert. I have no problem with that. My whole life, I done had to be alert.
You got to read between the lines too.
Yeah. And man, once again, that just was another impact of prison, man. I learned so much that I wouldn't have learned in the street because I wasn't trying to listen to nobody. Well, I'm willing to listen and I'm willing to apply.
And that's the key part of application. You're right.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better.
So,
you're going to be in these people's face. You're going to be in their faces. And you're going to have to give them some hard knocks lessons.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of your chat while you're getting them prepared.
Yeah.
You're going to need hope. You take a person's hope away, you've just taken about everything they got. You're going to have to encourage, like you said, and give them hope. But more than anything, they're looking for is direction. So if you're that weigh station, like the truckers pull aside and will get their trucks weighed, you're that weigh station right now on an intake. So you're weighing them, getting them set up, getting them legalized, getting them forms and getting that case developed now. And as you get good at that, they're going to charge you with another mission. And what mission would that be? When you get good at what you do, what are they going to charge you to do next?
Probably something that my wife did. She is like God. I don't mean no disrespect, but she's like God in there. And when you bring her name up, people, oh, Bobby. Mm-hmm. And so she did intake assessment. Okay. And she had to be able to read in a way that I might not have. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that she's the greatest, and they know
a resource to you now. You got it at home every day.
Oh, hey, baby, man, I told somebody, I told them today, I said, look, what y'all don't know is, man, I got an ace of spade that I sleep beside every night. As soon as I don't understand, she got a whole license.
Well, there you go.
I'm
asking you all these questions about your job because I wanted to see just how much, and I already knew this, but I think I was doing it more for our audience. How much you cherished where you are right now, how much you cherish your new future, that you can actually extrapolate further years and months or whatever down the road of what it might look like if you stay on this path?
I'm gonna tell you how much I cherish, and I ain't even got to think about it. Okay. September the 14th, 2022, my parole officer in the state of Wisconsin caught me in the state of Ohio, and that's all I did. And I went through a whole lot of being transferred from state to state. I went through a whole lot of having to go right back through the same institutional stuff, the incarcerate. I had to go through it, and I found out that I couldn't do it anymore because things change. You know, I get older, those policies go to something harsher, and I it's it's just dawning on me that I don't have to be there. And
You don't want to ever go back that path. So you're cherishing it so much now that it's
yeah,
preventing you from what, having negative thoughts or having criminal
well,
thoughts or
I
what is.
think it's not the thoughts. Well, thought is the cause of everything, but I don't think it's the thoughts. Thoughts don't become bad until you act on. So it's the actions. And I'm gonna tell you, I got out of prison on Valentine's Day a year ago from a parole violation, man. And 4 days later, I almost lost my life. And not me losing it literally, but me having to go back to prison forever for the rest of my life.
Oh yeah. Losing your life
Behind
either
the
way is
things,
tragic.
yeah. And so I need no more reminder.
Right.
I don't even need you to play with me and pretend like you're gonna call the police. Okay. I don't need you to do that to me, man, because now I didn't just find a job. I didn't go get a factory job like I had before. I found a career, and I've been in college for a very long time, all because I was getting a disbursement.
Yeah.
Okay. I was still hustling. I ain't got to hustle no more.
Well, those skills you learn while hustling uh, are valuable skills. If you put them to the right use, they can be really beneficial to you and your family.
Yeah.
Sometimes people who've hustled, and I know everybody across whatever plane of existence on this planet, I'll tell you, that hustling skill kind of reads between the line,
Yeah.
gets to the finish line without being, bull crapped over or BS'd. Um, unless it's a con or a game, which I don't think that's what you guys are doing. So that's good.
No.
I think it's very good that you have this understanding of from where you came. How the hell are you gonna know where you're going if you don't know where you came from? You know where you come from, and where
Yeah.
you're going seems like a bright place. There are going to be many opportunities that come up in the future, and you don't seem to fear advancement. You don't seem to fear the next level task. You don't seem to fear a lot of things.
No.
Remember, remember, you're never promoted or given another opportunity because you do a great job. No one will ever hire you or promote you or give you an advancement because you do a great job, because that's your job to do a great job. What they're looking for is your potential to do a great job in the next level.
Yeah.
So always acquire new information on the level you're on, just as you continue to read, because you're an avid reader, voracious, I would even say. Yeah, to continue to endeavor to pick Bobby's brain or pick your partner there, the one who was a substance abuser. Now he's a substance abuse counselor. Uh, Pick his brain and learn more and more and more and more. You have to constantly devour information and that those lessons, that wisdom, and even if you don't understand the wisdom, sit back for a minute, relax, it'll sink in. A guy like you, it'll sink in. Most people go right over their head. A guy like you, wisdom will sink in because you give it a place to be. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
What about your father? You talk to him today?
No, I usually talk to my dad, man, probably every 3 or 4 days. My dad just turned 69, man, and he don't know how to stop retiring from jobs. Um, he's on his second retirement, and every day I told him I was gonna go sit on his car. If you know my dad, you better not touch that clean car that don't never get rained on or snow or nothing. And it sits outside.
Oh yeah,
So,
oh yeah. I know how
um,
some fathers are about their car.
Yeah, he ain't playing with
But
nobody.
why do you want him to not work anymore?
Because man, my dad was 14 years old when Martin Luther King died. Um, he comes from Lake Providence, Louisiana, not Lake Providence, but Lake was it Providence? Yeah, it is Lake Providence. I'm sorry. He comes from Lake by Monroe, Louisiana,
Mhm.
right out the sugarcane patch,
I
not
know.
the cotton patch, the sugarcane.
Sugarcane.
People don't understand that,
That's
you know.
Louisiana. That's
Yeah.
Louisiana.
And he worked on a farm. My family come from sharecropping and things like that. My dad been working all his life. He is a man that he didn't know how to be a father. All he knew how to do was provide and protect. He might not have been able to give you the keys that you needed, but I wouldn't have known because I robbed him of it. I went to prison at 15. Now he can't give me no keys. They're going to give them to me.
There
You
you
see
go.
what I'm saying? And
Oh
so
yeah.
now when I see him now, and I'm like, dang, my dad always been around. It was my mama that did. My mama that wasn't, excuse me. And I just look at him now, man. He ain't never did no drugs. He ain't never sold no drugs. Um, he always had a job. I want to be like my dad when I grow up. You know what I'm saying? And I
That's your
tell him that,
hero. That's your hero.
yeah,
Yeah, bro.
he looked just like me. I
There you
cut
go.
my hair off and shave my head. I look up. My dad, he had an afro with a big beard, had a Jerry curl in 2005.
Old
He
school.
cut it off. Yeah, old school man, and they called him "Can't Touch This" back in the day. He
Well,
was clean. Yeah,
hey, hammer
you know.
time.
Yeah,
But let
but
me ask you
I
a question about your dad. Do
yeah,
you know that one of the leading statistics about men who work up into their past or beyond retirement age,
yeah,
they live longer?
really,
Yeah.
I believe it.
Some people say when you quit working, you die. You go somewhere to settle and die.
I believe that.
I wouldn't push your dad to quit unless there was an ailment like, oh, my back hurt or my knees giving out or something like that. I think he's probably his happiest when he's producing, when he's got his own. He's not dependent on anyone. He got his clean car.
Yeah, he
You know,
would. This is the thing about my dad. My dad functioned like he's 40. He's moving like he's 40.
and you want him to
And which is why I believe you. But
retire.
Steve,
Yeah.
he's been working in Marion, Indiana. They got one steel mill. It's called Atlas Foundry.
Yeah. They
My
work you to
family,
death.
yes, my family I got an uncle that retired there after 38 years. I worked there before and went in there and showed out, and they begged me to come back, and I don't never come back. My dad works around asbestos. He gets sick, he ain't telling nobody. He gonna keep
Well, if
working.
he ain't sick now and he's pushing almost 70, chances are, uh, I'm not gonna say he's not gonna get sick, but there's a higher propensity that he's doing something right. Let's find out what he's doing right and see if we can help him with that and
Yeah,
keep him
yeah,
from
yeah.
getting sick. Don't they have to
Yeah.
wear special masks and uniforms and all of that?
If that man put a mask on his face and he the oldest person there, if he put a mask on his face, it's a trick too. He's royalty. He's not wearing no mask. He think he pretty. He think
Oh God. Okay. But
yeah,
you know, protecting your father as he
yeah,
gets older is natural.
yeah.
They protected you. It's a cycle. When
Hmm.
you're a baby, you're helpless. You're protected and you're provided for. Like you said, he did those two things consistently. Maybe he didn't give you all the keys, but he definitely did that. And
Yeah,
then now he gets older and you got to protect him. Now he's going to be the one, hopefully in 20 years, not 10 but 20, maybe even 30 years, he's the one in diapers or one, need to be protected and taken care of. Hopefully it's that cycle. So it's just a vicious cycle and it never ends. That's the cycle of life or the circle of life, people call it. Okay, now I see that you have great affection for your dad when you talk about him.
yeah.
What other male figure in your life do you have great affection for?
Um, my brother, well, all my brothers, I can't even lie, equally.
How many
And
brothers do you have?
I got 8 brothers, 2 sisters.
Okay, I have to ask this question because Marion, Indiana, all that.
Yeah,
Uh, everybody in the gangs, everybody's like had a background, like a criminal background. And so you were like, I used to tell everybody, all of my uncles, my mother had 11 brothers.
yeah,
All of them were like Sam Jackson in his worst movie. Well, so I keep, and they would do it. I mean, all of my uncles were tough. I
yeah,
never knew a group is okay. So I get it. So you had like, seven Samuel L. Jacksons in whatever movie. Okay. So with those, where did you rank? Were you the oldest, the youngest? Where were you?
I was in the middle,
Oh,
right
older
there.
middle child, older middle child.
Yeah, I was one of the well, my brother on my dad's side 2 years older than me. I got one that's Bobby's same age, 49, and
Mm-hmm.
then I got five younger brothers beneath me. So I got three over me, and four beneath me. And my sister, she's the oldest, plus one that died in Chicago.
Okay. So being that guy in the middle somewhere, not
Yeah.
Malcolm in the middle, but
No, Montez in the middle.
there you go. Montez in the middle. There you go. So
Yeah,
you're in the middle and you're being influenced the most by whom? Who influenced you?
my brother Keith.
So Keith was like your protector too in some kind of way.
He was my protector, but he was my teacher. He was my
What
teacher.
lessons did he teach you? Tell me a couple of the lessons he taught you. You could split.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've been in the streets since I was 11 years old. I took an oath when I was 11 years old. Um, I followed him. Everything that I seen him
Gang
do, I
life.
did. Wouldn't do that. Not just that though, because my brother, he was one of the best basketball players Marion, Indiana ever seen. Besides Zach Randolph, we grew up with him. Okay.
Okay.
And when I say we ate beans and cornbread together, I love Zach. You know what I'm saying? And
There
so
you
we was all in the same crowd. And but Keith went overseas to play basketball,
go. Okay.
but he was one of them guys that straddled the fence. He never got caught for nothing that he did, but his name was in the police department's mouth, but it was in James Blackman's mouth that went to Kentucky in 88, 89, and because that was our coach. You
Got it.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
His name, he was so smart, and he went to college in Centralia, Illinois. I got out of prison in Indiana and followed him there. Instead of me picking up a book and wanting to read, I go to Walmart and buy me a whole Docker outfit with some reading glasses and a backpack, turn my head backward. I got about 126 grams of cocaine in this bag. So you know what I'm getting ready to do in this school, don't you?
You're gonna sling it.
Yep.
So how did that go for you?
Well, at 19, I made about $15,000 a month for about 8 months. And then I got 10 years and I got more time than the other 15 people on the indictment. And I got an armed violence in the state of Illinois that's 15 years federal if you want to play with them on that plea bargain. That's how that went. And I ain't touched it since.
So you made $135,000 in 9 months, and you gave up 10 years for it.
Yep.
You were getting minimum wage, less than minimum wage if you divide it out over 10 years per year. So I'm just saying that 130, that's 13,500 a year. So that's less than minimum wage. So you get 13,000 to trade for your, I think you called it earlier, your life. And your brother was actually trying to teach you something else. Pick up a book.
At that basketball, I was a basketball player.
Yeah. Play basketball, pick up a book, follow him. But you stopped following him and you went your own route.
I was in too deep.
Did you have threat on your life if you didn't do
Yeah,
X, Y, Z?
they tried to put a gun in my mouth. I was said to have been somebody who robbed someone, and it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I was 2 months out of prison, was still trying to do right. This was November 2002. We just coming fresh off the 90s. So people that was born in 82, 83,
Mm-hmm.
18, 19 now, and they thinking just like I am. But we raised by the older guys. And I didn't do anything this time. But they tried to put the gun in my mouth, and I wouldn't got a Ultra Tech 16 up, 16 down, two-tone with a cooling system and a 38, and I turned everything around.
Air
And
cooled, air cooled, right?
mm.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Well, let me say, other than being trained extensively in weapons, I was actually a demolitionist in special forces. And you name it, if somebody on the team knew it. I remember my very first day, and this correlates back to something you just said. I'm going to get to it. When I graduated special forces training, and they sent me to some place to work for a while, go to school and do a couple of things. Then they sent me down to my very first team. And, Special Forces 18. Dun-dun-dun. And I'm a demo man. Don't. One of my good friends who later got killed in Honduras, he used to call me the Give. Here comes the Give. Dun-dun, dun-dun. And he would make that noise. We just laugh about it because I was a cocky young guy. And I walked into the team room, and there was this white dude, gruffy looking dude. He didn't wear the uniform right. It was we wore sterile uniforms, no insignia, no name tag. So you didn't know anybody unless you actually talked to him at the time. And he was teaching a class. We did cross training all the time. He was teaching a class. And I was like, what the hell is this guy doing? And he had this paper on the table and these envelopes and this. He was teaching the team. I'm not kidding. His name was Aerosmith. I won't say his first name because who knows where he's working today. But this was the craziest guy. He was teaching the whole team. They were all standing around, all Green Berets, standing there just like, all of them combat crazy.
Yeah.
He was teaching the team how to make letter bombs. I was like, hold on a second. I know I'm a demo man, but it never really dawned on me until that day. I walked into the team room and saw him flattening blasting caps so they can fit into an envelope and cutting and then actually going out to the range later on today or that day and exploding them. And I'm saying this to you for a reason. I thought I knew everything and I didn't know jack. I was a trained Green Beret, badass, hand-to-hand combat, da, da, da. I was dirt. I was nobody when I got on my first team. The guys who made me who I became in Special Forces were my teammates. Like your team right now, that guy that you sit next to and work with, well, you got your own office, next door to you.
Yeah.
That guy you're working with right now, that guy and a few other people in your team are going to help shape you forward.
Yeah.
They're going to do that. Something that, excuse me, your brother Keith, a hair, I shaved and a little bit of hair is getting in your mouth. But your brother Keith tried to show you something and you didn't listen. You just didn't listen. Now you got these guys in this place, in this camaraderie, this environment that's going to catapult you forward. Forgive me. You're going to protect that? I don't feel like spitting on camera. So, but are you going to protect that? And don't take your father's job away from him. Don't even suggest it. Find out how he feel about it. But anyway, are you going to take that? Are you going to protect that environment? Because it's not just, I think you said it the right way, but you said your thoughts control everything. And they do. But your thoughts are derived from your environment.
Yeah.
You're in a powerful environment right now. The sky is the limit for you. It really, not a fact, you can go beyond the sky, in where you are, because there are certain people along the way that have made it. And they like you enough to put you on their team. So there must be some potential in you. How are you going to protect that?
Well, I think I can protect that by protecting the integrity of the profession, first and foremost. That means I follow all laws and policies. And that sounds so familiar that it don't make any sense.
Okay, I see the smirk. I see the smirk.
Yeah, because I know you catch it when I'm putting down. And it tickles me. But yeah, I'm a loyalist, man. And since I was a kid, man, I've been I've been shaped and molded in a way that I don't. If you put a man, for lack of a better word, if you put a creed in front of me, I'm gonna learn it and I'm gonna know it. I ain't gonna never know. I'm gonna die with it. Well, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so this
They're
is, yeah,
concretizing your path. A
yeah,
lot of people got dirt paths to their future, and they wonder why they keep slipping in the mud when
yeah,
it rains. These people are helping you to concretize and put rebar on your path. And all you have to do is really walk it and learn each step along the way.
yeah.
That's not a bad thing to have that kind of institutional support behind you. And who knows, in 10 years, you may say, I think I'm gonna start my own practice where I help these people in the meatpacking industry or in the whatever, the government industry. I'm gonna help them. And now you have your own company doing the same things that you're doing now. And you have the experience and you have the challenge of helping people in places that otherwise couldn't have received your help because they're making money, they have a job, and they can't come to you right now, because they got to go to another facility because they have insurance or they have something else, but they don't have your experience. So who knows how you're going to capture that in the future? Do you scream a lot?
Do I scream a lot? Well, if I'm
Do you
into it,
scream when you're pissed off? Do you scream?
oh yeah, yeah, my voice gonna get loud.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you know that's the biggest sign of weakness?
yeah.
And you're not a weak person. So why do you think you scream?
Not thinking.
I feel like a magician sometimes. David Copperfield, ta-da, that's magic. You know why, but you do it anyway.
Impulsive.
I don't want to say it's impulsive.
I I,
The
I
impulsive
think
happen as a reaction, boom. I would say it's more of a habit. I would say it's more of conditioning. It's not impulsive. It's actually wired into you when somebody get in your face. Get the fuck out of my face. It's wired into
mhm.
you.
In prison, I learned that those people ain't gonna do too much.
They don't. And so I'm
Yeah,
asking you, how do we stop that? How do we get you to such the level and tone when you open your mouth to speak, people simply listen to you because they know you're dead serious and you don't have to scream to them? How do we
I
get you there?
mean, honestly, I think people do that now anyway. But it's about what I'm saying out my, yeah. It's
Like
about
how
what
you
I'm saying.
talking now, I dig it. I like this is the guy that needs, this is who you need to be when you argue. No, let me be, I'm not mad at you. I'm just being emphatically clear.
Yeah,
But go
yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
I'm always, this is how I function every day. I'm just not playing about nothing. And I know that I know how it make me look from a distance or otherwise. I know exactly, but I can't catch myself in time.
It's hard to look at you and say you're weak. That's not what my statement was, although you may have interpreted it.
Yeah,
It's hard to look at you and say you're weak. You're really not weak at all. You just don't know where to push your displaced anger. You don't know where to put it. You don't know where
but
to let it, when to let it go.
I'm gonna tell you like this right here, man. No, I'm not even finna. I'm not about to give myself a piece of a piece of credit because I know better. I'm not gonna let you give it to me. I ain't taking it
I'm
because I
not
know
giving it.
no,
I want to know where it comes from. Where are you giving it
it was
credit?
because it was weak.
Let me tell you something. Smart people do
Yeah,
smart things. Dumb people do dumb things. It just
yep,
works that way in the universe.
yep,
That was a smart statement. Now, the hard part about doing and saying smart things is actually carrying them out.
yeah,
In Spanish, you say llevar a cabo, carry it out. And I'm telling you, so you understand this,
yeah,
that 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 person you always been, but didn't have the articulation. That person that read all those books and said, why can't that be me? That person that got this new career path, whether you stay in there for 10 years, 10 days, or 10 hours, it doesn't matter. You're on a whole nother trip right now. And so I'm just looking at you and I'm saying to myself about Montez, in order to be strong, not appear strong, You have to do strong things. People, even when you do weak stuff like scream, people don't see you as weak. They see you as intimidating. And if you have to have a conversation with somebody while you're screaming, a guy like you, who's capable of knocking the hell out of somebody and hurting them or threatening them in a way, just with your body language. I'm not talking about
Yeah.
just Bobby or anything like that. I'm talking about anybody. Because what's going to happen, I can tell you, circumstances always dictate the outcome of every situation you're in. Whatever circumstance you're in will dictate that outcome. And you're going to be in some situations with people who need help, and they may get lit on fire. And I don't mean physically lit on fire, but they may have a hair up their butt one day while they're talking to you and get in your face. And there are protocols that you're learning right now to deal with that circumstance. Because remember, circumstance dictate everything. Not you, not the other person, but the circumstance you're in will dictate what happens next. You have to be able to restrain yourself. You can't be I'm the guy that was in prison more time than you've been alive. You can't be that guy to these people because they don't understand that. You can use that talent, you can use that strength for that, but you can't use that force or that reaction.
Yeah.
So can we practice an exercise in our heads?
I can do more than that.
I know. No. But let's give our audiences something to look forward to. Now,
Let's
no, I
do
got the answer for that.
it.
Anytime a person already has the answer for something they're still doing, they probably don't have the answer, or they do have the answer, just ignoring it when they need it.
Well,
So tell me.
I mean, honestly, I think I just found the answer, man.
Oh, okay, good. But tell me about it. I love
Well,
it.
well, this is the answer. I went to church Sunday. Okay. Now check this out right here, man. That's all I know from the other mess. That's the only bright spot. I was taught that. I know who God is. That's the God that I believe in. And I went to I don't play about I'm not no religious cat. I'm not finna front. I've seen so much garbage in the church it don't make no sense.
Me too.
But
Me too.
right. So I don't play about it, and I ain't going to church. I praise God right here in this house if that's like what I gotta do.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I ain't gotta go up in there. And that was been my attitude. Well, I went this week. My family came down here. Well, Bobby's kids came. They came and we had a great dang on time in his house, and we all woke up the next day and went to church together, matched and everything. And I went in there, and the preacher told me, I got the feeling something. I ain't like it. And me and Bobby went to the front, and we said, man, we trying to, as a couple, we laying up here trying to change some stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it got real heavy for me. I had to get up out the church. So I went on outside, and the preacher sent the deacon to come get me and pull me back in. He said, man, before you leave, it's something I just wanted to tell you. And I said, well, what's that? He said, well, man, God said you somebody, you can be a voice. He said, you're going to be a voice.
I can
He
believe
said,
it.
he said, I can feel it all over you. And I said, man, I'm just trying to do something right. You sit up there and talked on that pulpit about taking the bait. You mentioned anger. You mentioned I bumped my head about an hour before we went to church, and I wasn't going up in there. If I busted my head, I wasn't going up in no church. I was that mad. He talked about everything that transpired that morning that was trying to pull me and pull me and pull me. He said, if you don't take that bait, you ain't got to worry about being mad. And if I can lay up there, God, he didn't just say it, but God said it in scripture, and he read it to us all through the New Testament. And I believe God. I love God. So guess what? I'm gonna listen to him, and I ain't got to take that bait. So if you get in my face, outside of you trying to hurt me physically, doing this to me, because I got to have this bread. I got to have this.
You got to have a life. You got to keep your life and not give it away. You call me anything you want in the world, but you can't call me stupid.
Can't do that. And
or
plus,
new.
I know I get some workman comp. Mess me up, I can get some. I can do something.
But you have to protect yourself, and that's what you're doing. You're protecting your it's called a key security. You're protecting your peripherals and where you stand and the people are within that circle with you in the bubble in which you're operating. But the thing about America that goes bad, I think, matter of fact, the world is pretty much set up in billions of bubbles, and families and single persons and couples and just bubbles. And it used to be a time where a neighborhood was a bubble and everybody knew the culture of the neighborhood. It's no longer really like that. The neighborhood is its own bubble, but within that bubble, there are bubbles. And people don't even, next door neighbors can be next door to one another, cutting each other's grass every year for 10 years and never say hello. Not even hello. We're so disconnected from each other and reality. When we can disconnect from ourselves, we're disconnecting from reality. How are you going to stay grounded as this father, husband, head of household, worker? How do you stay grounded?
Man, I stay grounded, man, because I know what I want for my family and I know what type of life I want to have. 3-4 years ago, man, me and Bobby was on the plane every 2 months, flying somewhere else, going somewhere else to kick it and have fun because we done made all the bread and we running everything. Things got rough. It got real rough to the point where it's just me. That right there alone gonna push my brain because I want to do so much for everybody. I ain't thinking about me. I'm gonna be all right. I bet you I'm gonna be all right. I want to make sure they are all right.
I bet you're gonna be all right too. But you gotta take care of you first, though. In order for
I
you to
know.
be in a great place to take care of your family, you have to take care of you first. And
Yeah,
that doesn't mean taking out of their mouths or out of their circumstance in order to do well for you, but just don't forget about you is what I'm saying.
yeah,
Don't forget about you. And that's how your family will stay healthy. When you're healthy, your family's healthy. It's like when they say when a woman, has a family, she educates them, and the father, disciplines it and provides.
yeah,
Those roles I didn't make up. They were
yeah,
here when I got here. They were here when you got here. We were just trying to live up to them. And sometimes we change the rules along the way. We change the parameter, even the amount of money we make, or the riches or rags that we have will all influence that. I'm proud to hear you say a lot of these things, though. I really am, Montez. One of the things, and I don't like blowing smoke up nobody's crack, so don't have to worry about that. I'm being honest. You know, I'm telling you the reality is that you should be proud of you. For every negative thing you've done in your life, it's come back on you. It has come back on you, and you've had to claw your way up to where you're sitting right now. That's a hell of a feat. That's not something that anybody can do because I'm sure the prisons are full of people you used to know.
yep. You said it right too.
Okay. And it's not because they're toxic or bad, but the allure of anything wrong, especially if a person doesn't have what you have in knowledge, they don't have what you have in the experiences and the desire to not only be with God, but to be with your family forward through thick, thin, left, right, up, or down.
Yeah,
That says a lot. If people don't share in your same beliefs, and I don't necessarily mean do you are a Christian or Jewish or none of that. I'm talking about your beliefs about you and life and how to move forward. And if they apply Judaism or Islam or Christianity to their faith, that shouldn't be a bother because it's all the same God. But the reality is that you're not looking that superficial at people. You're looking deep into them. You should absolutely do that. You should be as deep as you possibly can when you're choosing who's going to be around your family. Period. And that's the number one priority for you to protect them. That's also to find out who's around them as well. But anyway, we're going to go into that in another session. I want to start planning, and I wanted to let the audience know. I want to start planning, see if I can get you and Bobby in here, like on like Tuesdays, and on Thursdays just you, and on Sundays just her, and see if we can get Bobby to agree to that if she's not busy. So we can have a session where you guys can have feedback in real time and we can have some real conversation. I don't want to play referee because I don't think you guys need one, but I do want to play advocate for whatever you both are collectively doing forward. I do want to play advocate for that. What do you think about that?
well, I'm cool with it. I'm fine with it. Me and her, we're in a good space, and even though it'll get rocky, anything that's perfect ain't real.
There
And
you
I know
go.
that's true. Anything. So it'll get rocky, but we both know how to shut up. I mean, flat out, just like that, shut up. Because I don't like to shut up.
So exactly, nobody does. But when you hear it and you're trying to incorporate it into your life, it
Yeah,
works wonders. It's when you're not trying to incorporate it in your life that it destroys you. Because
yeah.
sometimes people say things innocently to the other person that they should have never said because it's out of context, truly out of context. So it's okay to shut up. Matter of fact, one of the most advantageous things you can do in life is when you're in a heated situation, stop talking and watch and listen. Watch and listen. If no one's threatening your space or to put their fist in your mouth or a gun in your head, and to just translate for Black people, I'm going to say this. When Black people say they try to put a gun in my mouth, that means they really put a gun in my mouth and I have to get them, because I wish they would have. It's that kind of thing. Uh, when they put the gun in your mouth and they wanted to accuse you of something you did not do, I'm hoping you didn't do it, but
I
that you
didn't
did
do it.
not do. How that make you feel? Betrayed?
Well, yeah, because the guy that was trying to commit the act, I grew up throwing rocks at the police off the viaduct with him. Like we was always cool. It was always a fight somewhere. We grew up walking home from school, elementary school, 50 of us, 60 of us, fighting all the time.
Know the feeling. Chicago,
Right.
Southside, know the feeling. Every
So
day.
you gonna catch your ones and twos. And this guy, when I got out of prison, I went to prison in 1999. I come back in 2002, and this dude he done went to Chicago, found him a flag to wave, came back with a couple bodies under his belt, and then he stepped in the house drunk. Could have blew my brains out if I didn't have the heart, if I didn't know how to at least try to fight back, because it's three of them and
Mhm.
three guns, and one of the guns longer than I am tall. If I didn't have enough heart to try to stand up and fight for myself, I would have died that day. The whole back of my head would have been blew out, and I didn't do anything
Over some BS.
over some mess.
Was that a
And
wake-up call for you?
yeah, it woke me up. You know how it woke me up?
Tell me.
I I paroled from Pendleton, Indiana Reformatory outside of Anderson, Indiana. That's max. You made me know. You made me remember that I went from the prison that Mike Tyson was at, that Mike Tyson went to protective custody in. Okay, I went from that prison to Indiana State Farm, where they burn crosses in the back, and you can see them, to what John Dillinger jumped over the cell hall. You reminded me that I'd have made it around some killers. So who is you?
Mhm.
And I turned into what, man, I turned into a monster. I did everything, and then I would run to East St. Louis, and I know you ain't coming there to find me.
Not in East St. Louis. No.
Nope.
Please don't
I,
even go there sometime.
nope. And I went to the worst part, and then I opened up shop. And then when I want to go home, I'll go back. The same dude to try to do what he did to me. I'll go back home, shoot at him, buy some old dope, and go back down there. And then he finally called me one day, and he said, "I need you to meet me." And I said, "Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Cause see, when you beef, you don't wait on no beef. You go find it." And I grabbed my little arsenal and I went to him, and he apologized to me, and he gave me an ounce of crack. And I said, "I don't want that. The dude that did it. I want to click up and let's get him. Let him see how I feel to have a Beretta in his mouth, a hard hitting pistol in his. Let him see how I feel." And
That's
that's what
probably
I,
where he learned it from. Somebody did it to him.
yeah,
It's probably where, yeah. But I want to, I love talking to you. I think that we have a lot to discuss. I mean, you're really interesting human. You are. There's very few interesting humans. There are. I mean, I'd say 10% of the people on the planet are interesting.
yeah,
Maybe
interesting.
maybe 50% of what they do on the planet is interesting, but you as a person itself, you're very interesting. I want to take some questions from the audience. Let me tell you what you do. You make people like the hell out of you. They don't want to see you fail. or arguing and all that. They want to see your power. They really do. So as you've turned your life around, and I've seen where you've done it, but you're not there yet, by the way, but you're on that path. You're on the right path, doing the right things, achieving the right result. What are you going to do to specifically? You got to stop screaming, number one. Always make it about us and we.
Okay, that's what.
When you scream, you're telling the other person you don't care what they have to say. You're telling them that they're not important and that you can beat them down when you scream at them. But if you calmly say, no, I don't think I want to go and do that today. I'm going to do it on Monday. And they're livid that you're not going to do it, but you don't change that tone. They know you're serious. They know they don't have to, they can ask you again, and they probably will, because that's the nature of people. They will just ask you again. Well, why can't we do it today? Well, I've just said I'm not interested in doing it today. So let's let it go. Or maybe you can give them a reason, because I'm not feeling well, or because I'd have to change the tire on a car, whatever it is. But be calm. That's different from, well, you get the hell out of my face because it's much different. And then you keep your power. Whenever you scream at someone, you're giving them your power. You're giving them a license to not like you and to not be able to read you or depend on you or trust you. So what are you going to do, Montez, to stay on this path? Actionable steps. What are you going to do? Name one actionable thing you're going to do.
Don't take the bait. I found out that when I'm not angry, because see, I'm a person that when I get angry, only thing I can think about is how deviously I can get to you without getting
get your lick in. Get your lick in. I know.
You're right. But when I'm not angry, can't nobody outthink me.
Ta-da.
Okay. And that right there make me know that I done won and I'm a winner. So how about we just don't get angry?
You know, today I was on a session. Well, okay, yeah. Anger management. We're going to do our own little sessions of anger management from now on. But today I was in a session, and they don't have mirrored effect on this video. Mm-hmm. So whatever you see me do, the opposite is really happening. Even though you're a mirrored effect, I have those signs on my that signage of Michael Gibson, creator of norm therapy, which will not allow for the mirrored effect. So I want to look at you and say something serious, but I end up looking that way. So it's been making me laugh just a little bit every time. And I was cracking up today talking with everybody, and even a serious meeting. And what that little action did, and on a very serious note we were talking about, Montez, it gave rise to everybody understand that I am dead serious about all this, but we can also laugh, and we can do it in such a way that we all get something out of it.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to learn more, I think, about anything else in your life, because you've never gotten anything out of anything you fought for other than another day of whatever it was you were doing. Now you get to get something out of it. You get to get the satisfaction of having achieved something, having stored something away, having protected it. You get that now. And so I think you're absolutely correct. The actionable step, the most you need to do is just try to hold on tight to everything you have. Not that you can't live without it, because you can, but that you want others to enjoy what you're helping to accumulate for your family. You want it to be available to them, and you avail yourself to that. I think that's a good start. That's not the only thing you need to do along that path as an actionable step, but that's a great first step, or first large leap, I should say, because you've taken a bunch of leaps of faith. Are you afraid to die? You know, fearing death is very normal. I know people don't like that, but sometimes you've been facing death so many times that it just you get numb to it. It's like, okay, death, cool, we can deal with that. Is that where you are?
No. Well, yeah. It's like this right here. Ask me how many times I wanted to die. That's
Okay,
why I ain't afraid.
I'll take the bait. I'll take the bait. How
There
many
you
times have you
go.
wanted to die?
Almost every day for the last 90 days because things was that bad. But I didn't die. And I don't have
And
enough gall to hurt myself or do anything to me.
yeah, you do. You just don't. You just don't know that you're articulating all that you know. Wanting to hurt yourself is not derived from normally your circumstance, is normally from your options you think you have or don't have. And the more options you have in life, the less propensity you have to want to die because you have options. You've given yourself options not to die because the things you were trying to live for were not happening for you. You were trying to live for your family, live for your success, live for your productivity, live for your longevity. You're trying to live for all these things. When was the last thought about death you had? Was it today?
No, about 2 weeks ago.
There you go. Why? Because you have happiness is only having something to look forward to. If you don't have anything to look forward to, you are not happy. Anybody in the world, doesn't matter. People want to know what is happiness. Is that a happiness? Yeah, it's a state of mind, state of being, but it's more of forward thinking, having something to look forward to, or having a great past that you created that you're still living and you're projecting into the future to happen. That's happiness, having something to look forward to. Are you happier? Not happy, but are you happier these days?
Yeah, I am.
Good. I know you're
Yeah,
looking
I
off the
am.
camera. Everything okay? The dog's bothering you? What's going
No,
on?
I'm waiting on the big one to pop out. You know, he's strong like a man, so he he pushed doors open and stuff. I'm waiting on
I know Bobby had the same thing the other day when we were talking. It was cracking me
Yeah,
up. But
yeah. There
just
you
like those
go.
dogs, that's like those dogs push their way
Yeah,
through the door. They have something to look forward to. They get you in a good mood. They get you knowing they're gonna push through the door and you're gonna be all right with it. That's why they do it, because they know you're okay with it. And
yeah.
so you looking around like there are a couple of wolves in the room.
Well, he's 140 pounds. He is a wolf.
There you go. Absolutely. Listen,
Yeah,
I enjoyed our session tonight. I really did. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to quickly read this dialogue. In the beginning, I try to just ad lib, and just talk about our organization's norm therapy. People don't know that norm therapy undergirds abuse refuge org, ARROW, ARO, abuse refuge org. This is for the audience and future viewers once we go viral of who the heck we are, what we're doing, and what we went through to get here. This is no easy task, and what we do, not by any stretch of the imagination. But we love what we do so much, Montez, that no matter where I am in the world, I do this session. No matter where I am, it doesn't matter where I am. I'll do this session at 3 o'clock in the morning. And if I got to buy plane cards or something, or time on a plane to use the Wi-Fi, I'll do it on a plane. Why do we do that? If you don't make sacrifice for that thing that's most important to you, it's not worth having. You should always be willing to sacrifice something. Not another person necessarily or anything like that, but definitely you have to be able to make sacrifice, and even in your own time. So we'll talk more about that. I'd love to talk to you about the avenue of time, but this week we're going to talk more about you and Bobby, and we will all get together and have a session. We'll announce it to the world if that's okay with you and Bobby.
yeah.
So if you enjoyed, I'm sorry, if you enjoyed and got something out of today's session, please show your support by sharing this video, subscribing to our channel, liking it, and by all means, comment on it. Say hi or anything. Just keep that rhythm going. Our next norm therapy session will be with Montez this Thursday, February 22nd at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, USA. Please go to goarrow.org. And also to Norm Therapy, NORMTHERAPY.com, and explore our opportunities and seek help for yourself or someone needing our services. We have many talented and seasoned Norm therapists standing by to help you. Or maybe you'll get me in one of my sessions. Maybe you don't want me. I don't know. You might. I don't know. What do you think about it? I mean, Monty, what do you think? Do you think they want me?
Yeah, I think they want you,
All
man.
right. Hope so. Yeah, you know, you got to stroke an ego every now and then.
A little
But
bit.
there you go. So if you're interested in applying to participate in our live stream as a victim or survivor, also email us at contact@normtherapy.com. And if you need sessions for yourself or someone you care about, please go to our site and look at that as well. We can purchase sessions there. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again on Thursday. Do you have anything you want to tell our audience before we go, Montez?
Nah, man, I'm good, man. I'm on cloud nine.
All right. Well, let's remember, stay there, enjoy your family while they're in town and doing what you do. Say hello to Bobby, and I look forward to talking to you guys during the week about a potential session together, okay? Or a few of those, okay? Talk to
Okay.
you.
All right. All right, man. Have a good day.
Thank you, everybody out there. We'll talk soon.